Right now, as you watch this video, there is a woman psychologically manipulating you, and you don't even know it. You just have this feeling in your gut that something is wrong. It's that crazy confusion, that feeling like you're always one step behind and you just can't figure it out. Most guys will go their whole lives just reacting to this stuff without ever understanding it. But the guys who learn to see these patterns in real time, those are the ones who can protect their mental health, build insane self-worth, and get relationships that are actually awesome. Today, we are breaking down the 5 most common and powerful mind games you will ever see. We'll show you what they are, why they're so ridiculously effective, and most importantly, how to beat them so you can take back control of your own mind. First up is literally the most powerful manipulative tactic on the planet: intermittent reinforcement. If you've ever felt addicted to a person, swinging between feeling like you're on top of the world and feeling like you're worthless, you've been trapped in this. So, what is it? Intermittent reinforcement is giving you a reward, like attention or affection, at completely random times. It's a hot and cold cycle that will drive you crazy. One day she's obsessed with you, texting you 24/7, telling you you're the most amazing man alive. Everything is perfect. You feel like a king. The next day, or even a few hours later, bam, she's gone. Her texts are one word. She's busy, distant, and emotionally checked out. You're left completely confused. What did I do? Was it something I said? You start replaying every single second, trying to figure out what you did wrong. This isn't an accident. It's the same thing that makes slot machines so addictive. The machine doesn't pay out every single time. It pays out just enough at random times to keep you pulling that lever forever. Your brain goes crazy for this unpredictability. When you get a reward, your brain releases dopamine. But scientists discovered it's the waiting for a random reward that sends dopamine through the roof. The manipulator is literally turning your brain into a slot machine. The silence makes you desperate for the next win, the next text, the next sign of affection. You stop caring if the relationship is even good, and you just become obsessed with getting that next hit. A classic example is texting. For a week, you're talking nonstop, good morning texts, long calls, everything. The connection feels insane. Then Saturday hits. You text her, "Hey, hope you're having a great day," and you get nothing. Hours go by. You see she's online. The anxiety is overwhelming. You start questioning everything. Was my text boring? Am I being annoying? You check your phone 1,000 times. Finally, 12 hours later, you get a one-word reply: "Hey." The relief is massive, but it's not relief from connection. It's the relief of an addict getting their fix. You're now being trained to work harder and harder for her attention. The warning signs are so obvious once you see them. A constant hot and cold dynamic, feeling insane anxiety when you don't hear from them, feeling like you have to earn their affection, and obsessing over their moods. So, how do you beat it? The first step is to see the pattern for what it is. It's not a deep connection. It's a cheap trick to make you dependent. Once you name it, you can escape. The secret isn't to play the game better. It's to stop playing. When she goes cold, you have to fight the urge to chase. Do not send 20 texts asking what's wrong. Don't call her over and over. Your chasing is the reward. It tells her she has all the control. Instead, you disengage. Focus on your own life. Go to the gym. Work on your business. See your friends. Fill your time with things that build your value for you. When you refuse to chase, you break the entire pattern. You show her that your happiness isn't tied to her random breadcrumbs of attention. The final step is to demand consistency. When she comes back, you calmly say, "I love spending time with you, but I've noticed our communication is super inconsistent. This up and down thing is confusing, and it just doesn't work for me." This isn't an attack. It's you setting a standard. It forces her to either step up or prove she can't handle a healthy relationship. The second mind game is way sneakier, but it is just as destructive. It's when your own conscience is turned into a weapon against you. Emotional guilt. Emotional guilt is the tactic of making you feel responsible for her feelings to control your behavior. It targets your desire to be a good person, which is what makes it so evil. Empathetic guys are destroyed by this. The manipulator frames what she wants as your moral duty, and if you don't do it, you're a bad guy. This tactic is insane because it doesn't feel like an attack. It feels like she's hurt or needs help. It completely bypasses your logic and punches you right in the heart. Instead of saying, "Do this," she says, "I'm so sad that you wouldn't do this for me." The conversation is no longer about her request. It's about what a terrible person you are. Here's a scenario that happens all the time. You have plans with your friends that you're super excited about. You tell your partner and she doesn't say no. Instead, her face just drops. She sighs and quietly says, "Oh, okay. I just really wanted to spend time together tonight. I had a terrible day and I just needed you. But it's fine. Go have fun." That's the kill shot. It's fine. Go have fun. Your brain instantly translates this to, it's not fine. If you go, you're a selfish jerk who abandoned his partner. You are the reason she's sad. Suddenly, the fun night you were excited for is completely ruined by guilt. So, what do most guys do? They cancel, not because they want to, but to stop feeling that horrible guilt. The manipulator just got exactly what she wanted without ever even asking. The warning signs are feeling like you're always letting your partner down, constantly saying sorry for things that aren't your fault, and feeling like you are responsible for her happiness 24/7. Beating this requires a huge mental shift. You have to burn this into your brain. You are responsible to other people, but you are not responsible for them. You can be supportive, but you are not in charge of managing their emotions. Her feelings are her problem. First, you have to spot the guilt trip the second it happens. When you feel that guilt, stop. Ask yourself, is this a reasonable thing to ask? Am I being punished for having a boundary? Next, you have to hold your ground while validating her feeling. But do not take responsibility for it. This is the ultimate cheat code. You don't dismiss her. You just separate her emotion from your action. Using the same example, a super powerful response would be, "I'm sorry you had a hard day, and I do want to hear about it. I am going to stick with my plans tonight, but let's make sure we spend time together tomorrow. I'll call you when I get home." Look at that structure. It's perfect. You validate her feeling. "I'm sorry you had a hard day." You reinforce your boundary. "I am going to stick with my plans tonight." You offer a reasonable alternative. "Let's spend time together tomorrow." This response completely destroys the manipulation. You show you're a caring partner who also has his own life. You refuse to be her emotional manager. She might get mad at first, but if you do this every single time, you teach her that guilt trips don't work on you anymore. We're about to jump into our third mind game, and this one is the most twisted of all because it looks like love. But before we do, if you're learning anything from this and having your mind blown, destroy that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. This channel is all about giving you the tools for real strength and incredible relationships. And I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below if you've ever been trapped by one of these mind games. Sharing your story helps everyone here win. This brings us to our third and most insane tactic, false support. This is manipulation disguised as care. It's when someone pretends to be your biggest fan while secretly destroying your confidence, questioning your brain, and sabotaging your goals. Here's how it works. A manipulator using false support will never say, "You can't do that." They know that would start a huge fight. Instead, they act like your number one supporter. the only one who truly believes in you. They get you to open up about your biggest dreams and fears, and then they use that information against you, covering their sabotage with, "I'm just concerned." Imagine you are hyped about a new career move. It's a risk, but you're passionate. You tell your partner and she says, "Wow, that's amazing. I 100% support you." You have to go for it. You feel so relieved and grateful. But then, a couple of days later, the quiet attacks begin. She might say, "I was thinking about your new career. I'm so excited, but have you really thought about the money? We're so secure right now, and it would be a disaster to mess that up." A few days later, "I told my mom your plan, and she was a little worried about how risky it is. I told her you were a genius, obviously, but it just got me thinking, I just don't want to see you get hurt or fail." Do you see what's happening? Every sentence is wrapped in support and concern. But the real message is doubt, fear, and failure. She is literally programming you to connect your dream with risk and disaster. She's not your cheerleader, she's your concerned saboteur. Over time, this quiet negativity completely kills your motivation. You start to doubt yourself. Maybe she's right. It's too risky. You might give up on your goal entirely, thinking it was your own idea, while believing she was your biggest supporter the whole time. The warning signs of false support are sneaky. You leave a supportive conversation feeling drained and less confident. Her help is always about finding problems, never solutions. You get fake compliments like, "I love that you're not afraid to try new things, even if you fail." To beat this, you have to separate the words from the feeling. Her words say she supports you. The feeling she gives you is that you're going to fail. You have to learn to trust the feeling over the words every time. First, get an outside opinion. When you have a new goal, don't just tell her. Tell trusted friends or mentors who actually support you. This will give you a reality check and keep your belief strong. Next, be super direct about the kind of feedback you need. You can say, "I appreciate you looking out for the problems, but right now, all I need is encouragement. When I'm ready to focus on the risks, I'll ask you for that." This is a massive power move. It doesn't accuse her of anything. It just clearly defines what real support is. It forces her to either actually support you or back off. At the end of the day, you have to be the ultimate guardian of your own ambition. Our fourth mind game is a direct nuclear attack on a man's self-esteem, constant comparison. This is the tactic of repeatedly comparing you to other people, ex-boyfriends, your friends, her friends' husbands, to make you feel insecure and pressure you to change. This trick taps into something called social comparison theory, which just means we all naturally figure out our own value by looking at others. A manipulator hijacks this by creating a comparison you can literally never win. By making someone else the gold standard, she makes you worthless. As your self-esteem tanks, you become more desperate for her approval, and you start trying to win this impossible comparison. Once that happens, you're easy to control. This can be obvious or super subtle. An obvious example: "You know, my ex was so much more adventurous. He would have already planned a surprise trip for me." It's a direct attack meant to make you feel like a loser, but it's usually more sneaky. She might talk about a friend's husband. "Mark just got a huge promotion. He works so hard for his family, and he's redoing their kitchen himself. Sarah is so lucky. You weren't even mentioned, but the message is clear. Why aren't you more like Mark?" You're left feeling like you'll never be good enough. This creates a game you can't win. You feel like you're in a non-stop competition. If you get a promotion, it's not as good as Mark's. If you plan a date, it's not as romantic as something her ex would have done. You're on a treadmill to hell, running to prove you're good enough for someone who keeps moving the finish line. The warning signs are a constant feeling of being inadequate, feeling like you're always being judged, and her constantly talking about how amazing other men are. Beating this requires an unbreakable inner confidence and a complete refusal to play her game. When a comparison comes up, your first instinct is to get defensive, to list all your good qualities or point out the other guy's flaws. Don't. It's a trap. The second you defend yourself, you've admitted you're in a competition. You've already lost. The right move is to refuse to even acknowledge the comparison. For example, if she says, "Sarah's boyfriend is taking her to Paris," instead of getting defensive, "Well, we can't afford that," you just say, "That's great for them. I hope they have an amazing time." This response is calm, it's not reactive, and it dismisses the competition she's trying to create. You're showing that their life has nothing to do with yours. If she keeps doing it, you have to call it out directly. You can say, "When you constantly compare me to other guys, it feels disrespectful, and it's killing our connection. This relationship has to be about you and me. I need that to stop. This isn't a request, it's a standard." A good partner will hear this and stop immediately. A manipulator will probably get defensive or call you too sensitive, which tells you everything you need to know. The final mind game feeds on chaos. Strategic drama. This is the tactic of creating or blowing up a tiny problem into a massive crisis to get attention, dodge blame, or regain control of the entire relationship. Someone who uses strategic drama usually feels like they're losing control or not getting enough attention. Instead of just saying, "I feel disconnected," they manufacture a crisis. By turning a small thing into a gigantic fight, they force you to focus 100% of your attention on them. It's a way of hijacking the relationship and making everything about their feelings. This works so well because most people, especially guys who just want to solve problems, hate drama, and will do almost anything to make it stop. Here's a perfect example. You need to bring up a real issue. Let's say your partner has been spending way too much from your shared bank account. You wait for a calm moment and respectfully say, "Hey, can we talk about the budget? It looks like we went way over this month and we need to be more careful." A healthy response is to talk about it. But a manipulator using strategic drama will deflect. Instead of talking about the budget, she'll create a bigger fight. She might explode, "I cannot believe you're attacking me about money. After everything I do you have any idea how stressed I am? You never appreciate me. You just want to control me." And just like that, you are not talking about the budget anymore. Now the fight is about how you don't appreciate her and you're a control freak. You are immediately on defense, trying to calm her down. "No, that's not what I meant. Of course I appreciate you." The original problem is gone, buried under a volcano of emotion. The drama successfully let her escape all responsibility. The warning signs are constant, insane arguments that come out of nowhere, feeling completely exhausted by the relationship, and noticing that big fights always happen right after you try to set a boundary. The only way to win this game is to refuse to play. The fuel for strategic drama is your emotional reaction. Take that away, and the fire goes out instantly. The counter move is to become a gray rock. When the hurricane starts, you have to stay as calm and boring as possible. Do not raise your voice. Do not get defensive. Do not get sucked into her new, crazy accusations. Your response has to be calm and short. For example, "I can see you're really upset right now, and I'm not going to argue. We can talk about this later when we can both be calm." Then, you walk away. This isn't the silent treatment. It's removing yourself from a manipulative explosion. You're communicating that you will only have respectful adult conversations. Later, when things are calm, you have to be disciplined and circle back to the original point. "I'd still like to find a time to talk about the budget." By doing this, you show her that throwing a tantrum will never work as a get-out-of-jail-free card. It takes incredible self-control, but it's the only way to break the cycle. The ultimate defense? Unbreakable self-esteem and clear boundaries. When you know your value and aren't afraid to walk away from anyone who disrespects you, manipulation loses all its power. The moment you decide to stop playing these games, you've already won. If this opened your eyes, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Which of these games have you experienced? Let's help each other spot these patterns.